American Tobin with Cole McRae and I believe even a third, Matt Higgs here. Hello, boys.
There is another.
There is
Hello.
another.
It's
It's
Higgs.
nighttime, as you can see, which means there are lots of nocturnal animals running around the track. Some may even be in the cars.
Matt, can you give me your best? Can you give me your best nocturnal animal impression?
Perfect.
That was great. Fantastic.
So it's Paul Ricard. It's the, I believe they call it Solution 1A layout, or as Javier will make sure to tell us, it's called La Castellet, even though it's not. It's called Circuit Paul Ricard. Get it right, Javi.
Bless you.
You fricked, Javi.
But, so this is the version that just uses the long back straight. They're not quite cool enough to use the chicane in the back in GT3s, so you go about a mile down the back before you turn anywhere, and then you have a really long right-hander.
I have time to take a Snapchat story by the time I get to the end of the straightaway.
Definitely. What are you doing?
Popping into the track map so you can get a look-see at the big
Yeah,
track
there it
view.
is. Look at number 27 just flying through there. And now number 33, that's who we're watching.
Alright.
Oh,
Although,
man.
interestingly... Oh, never mind. I lied.
Oh, Baker was a 55 too.
Fun circuit. People seem to hate it. Don't know why, but it's kind of nice.
It's alright, it's just kind of flat, not very voluptuous.
That's alright.
And none of the turns have any flow to it.
We
It's
here
just
accept
standard
tracks
cookie
of all
cutter.
shapes and sizes.
Oh, and also there's there's too many runoffs. Look
We're
at all
track
that.
phobic.
There's a few runoffs, yeah. I have no idea how they do it in game. I know in real life, like, those strips are different adhesion levels that will punish you for going over them. So, we got 14 guys in here today. We have a lot of Davids.
Most of them are named David.
Ooh, very close up front between Baker and Legoshi. So in the last 2 weeks, we've had a couple different winners and a lot of movement around the podium, which has led to a very close points fight. Stinger, or no, that's what he shows up in. Yeah, Legoshi. Legoshi has a 6th and a 1st, Parker has a 2nd and a 3rd, and Baker has a 1st and a 5th. What does this mean? That means at the top of the standings, they are 98, 97, and 96 points. With it's currently Legoshi, Parker, Baker.
How many rounds are there in this championship again? 7?
You know, I think there's like 5 on schedule and then an unscheduled second half of the calendar.
Yeah, the second half gets scheduled after Easter, I think.
Huh.
It will rise again, stronger than before. So yeah, it's looking pretty strong up front. Really close between these guys. Notice John Archie is 91 points, so he's actually keeping it close with a 4th and a 2nd. Back in 4th place, and then you have a pretty sizable gap back to 5th place, and then a major gap back to 6th place.
Come on, Chris. I know you can do it.
Well, there's a pretty huge chunk of dudes just in qualifying here. It's kind of racing together, so that might result in some conflicting, especially considering that Barba, who we're watching now, is a part of it. So it might conflict with his wishes of qualifying higher.
And unfortunately, in that trio at the top of the points, I don't think Takumi Parker is going to stay in the fight, because he is not here today. That's the first goal, you know. Generally, being here helps.
It does, generally.
Takumi, should have contacted me. I could have just entered in your name.
Yeah, we can.
I mean, I could have broadcast and, like, just raced it on the side. Probably would have finished last, but hey, points.
A little nepotism goes a long way.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you know, talk to us enough, we can just say, hey, look, I see Parker up in 3rd. Don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, you're...
Very close, only 600ths between Baker and Legoshi.
Is that imperial or metric hundredths?
Canadian hundredths.
Oh god, let me get my calculator out. Oh, my calculator says no, I won't do it.
Let us ride on board, see what that actually looks like.
Alright, caffeine
It's
thus
dark.
ingested. It is very dark. So David Nelson is kind of one of our interesting competitors. like his story within the academy is well known, but this season he's struggled. He has had maybe been a little over aggressive in some of these races.
Because he's a returning champion, or not champion, a returning driver. He has a lot more ballast than the other guys do.
Yeah, that's true. But he seemed to have been being a little over aggressive recently, which we have theorized is maybe he's using this series as kind of more of a testing ground, because a lot of the tracks in this series are now lining up with 3D Speed, which we have on Wednesdays, and he's doing really well in those. So who knows?
Maybe he took a certain vaccine, which is well known to make you an ultra-aggressive driver. One of the side effects.
The flu shot?
Could possibly. Yes. This car should be getting up to 280 at the end of the straight.
280, that's a lot of miles per hour.
I mean, not miles.
I love how whenever the rev lights flash, it says overboost. Makes it seem like way bigger of a problem than it is. But Mr. Nelson will be our last car out. He's the only car remaining out on the track.
Oh, this track looks to me like it would just hit home the worst of ACC's understeer.
Yeah, especially with these off-camber ones. Ugh.
Oh yeah, I'm just getting nauseous watching this. I can only imagine how it feels.
I'm not getting nauseous.
So much.
I'm getting nauseous, but that's just because I had 4 cups of coffee.
That's just the lines that you have to do at this final corner here.
Ooh, he missed that apex a little bit.
So can he go to the top of the leaderboard? Let's find
No,
out.
he cannot.
That was not a fantastic lap for him.
Chris Stevenson with the 6th place.
But he'll
Well
still
done,
be 7th,
Chris.
and that's distinctly mid-pack. He's at the top of the Davids. Oh no, just kidding. There's Barba, but he's almost at the top of the Davids.
What the hell happened? Oh, I was gonna
Wait, no,
say
it's
because
not. Wait,
I saw Baker 7th and I was like, huh? No, he's 1st.
You gotta stop looking at this one, Matt. Every time.
It just causes problems. Frickin' thing.
so maybe now is a good time to go over the qualifying order.
Qualifying order, go!
Well, I was just actually opening the Discord to make sure that I had the names all right.
Baker, Nagoshi, Archie,
Every D is David. That's all you have to know.
Silvestri,
Well, that's what I was assuming, but I don't want to assume that.
Stevenson having a nice run up there in 6th. Nelson, Foster, Butler, Jones, Sloot, James, Albertson, Shine. I gotta say, it looks like all that ballast is really holding back some of these returning guys. I mean,
Well,
just looking
Silvestri
down
seems
here.
to have
And
figured it
Nelson,
out.
Foster, Jones, and these are fast guys from previous seasons, and they are solidly mid-pack at best this season.
Well, James is certainly feeling this sting. Silvestri seems to have figured it out a little bit, but he has been one of the better qualifiers historically in this series. So
Looks like it'll be a straight fight between Nagoshi and Baker today.
Unless Archie comes up there and blows by both of them in turn 1.
emphasis on blow.
So how many laps is that turn 1 inside marker going to last? I expect none.
Nope, first corner.
Yeah, I was
Or
gonna say
first
lap
lap.
0.
No, lap 0 implies they haven't gone across the line yet. Oh yeah, I forgot. It's a full formation lap.
Yes, indeed, and that is at night, 1 a.m. Who picked these racing hours?
Justin.
Justin, you madman.
It's over in France. I think that's realistic.
Well, it's realistic, mayhaps, but how many times do they have a race start at 1?
It's like 7 p.m. over there. Maybe 8 p.m. Which means it's kind of the correct hour for Butler. Good race.
Indeedly do.
Someone on the highway near this track is apparently just racing by. You can hear them in the distance.
I didn't hear that, but I will take your word for it.
Do you not hear the sounds of cars?
I do not. I have the game muted.
Well, that would explain why.
So as always, this is a 40-minute race, no pit stops required, and basically just gonna go to the end and see everything slides into place.
Larry Foster has been at like mid-pack all season.
It checks out.
Oh, the lights are on. They're waking up. Nap time's over, boys.
I just imagine they're all sleeping on the starting line in their car.
I would. Justin said he wanted nighttime, so he said it like middle of the night.
Yeah,
He said, and I quote, "I want it as dark as possible."
I believe it. Justin has proven to be. Oh, Archie phases through Baker. Justin has proven to be like the crazy fun uncle of ESR. He's like, yeah, all these conventions, those aren't fun. Let's freaking get those out of here. Yeah, 1 o'clock night racing. We're gonna do. Well, we got some big plans up for the upcoming ACC GT Challenge, which I'm not sure if we revealed yet, so I can't say anything about that yet. But we got
Gonna
big plans
involve
for there.
cars.
No, in fact, they involve toothpaste and dental floss.
What?
What? But and then
Cole, you're not supposed to tell him about tomorrow night.
hey, babe. You know, whatever happens, happens. I can't help it. But yeah, so I think I'm liking Justin taking the lead of some of these interesting projects because they make a lot of variety. I mean, if I've had one complaint about ACC, it's been there's not a huge amount of variety in what you can do with it. But Justin seems to be remedying that fairly well.
I'd like to see some more mixed weather races and
With 3D Speed, we're going to be seeing that to an interesting conclusion.
Alright, so we're gonna shut down the stream. We'll see you tomorrow when they reach the turn.
Right? Hey, Baker, you douche, turn off your high beams. You're blinding everyone that's not in front of you.
I support his decision.
You should just tape down his flash headlights button. We should make that a race requirement. Everyone has to drive with permanently flashing headlights.
I don't think Magus would enjoy that very much.
Magus doesn't need to know.
But the rest of us will enjoy it even more.
It would be we call it racing. It's a rave racing.
No, I don't think that's a good
And we
thing.
replace the headlights with black lights.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
I agree.
Matt Haig's channeling his inner War Thunder. I thought it was gonna be Fox McCloud, but you Captain Falcon, but I realized it at the last second. Yes. Okay, so we're coming up to the second to last corner, where we can get this gravy train underway. Matt, what kind of gravy do you think is in this train?
Swiss chalet gravy.
You don't like gravy?
I like Swiss chalet gravy.
Special light, okay.
No, Swiss chalet.
Swiss chalet.
Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Okay, we're coming to the start-finish line, and
Oh, Legoshi wants to go, but he can't. But he can.
he's going. Can't
Good
now.
start from Goshi.
Jones makes a hard dive. Looks like he got a great start.
Better start from Archie.
Oh, they are so wide. They're like Kylo Ren wide.
Oh,
David Jones.
yeah,
Nice.
that's
Looks
a
like we got
David
Nelson
Jones.
turned around. That's a Nelson if I've ever seen one, I think.
I better not
It
be
is.
Nelson.
It is Nelson. He's turned around in the back.
Ah, poor Nelson.
Oh no.
Continuing the
Yoshi's
legacy.
looking at the inside of Baker, and he kind of made it. He's gonna have to hold the outside though.
No, he's not gonna hold the outside. He's gonna go wide here, and then Archie's gonna slip up the inside.
Oh man. Oh, he's gonna lose another spot. Yeah, that was a rough position. I believe that is Barba who. Good, this is a weird line. That's gonna
Barba's
kill
way
him
off.
down the straight.
Yeah,
Oh,
Silvestri gets by. Stevenson
Oh
gets
my.
by. Foster's on his way.
Not a good turn to have a bad exit on.
Jones
No.
is catching up as well. Looks like he's gonna get through too.
I'll see y'all in a bit.
Bye, Matt.
Bye, Barba is just dropping like a rock. Still trying to get up to speed.
Dropping like a rock. Dropping like a rock. Meanwhile, the 72 of David Albertson is has
Woo,
fallen
guys
behind David
swinging
Nelson.
wide.
Looks like he had a bad off as well.
The ring through, we've got Shine, Salute, James. Ooh. Bit of gaggle of cars.
James.
Cars do look nice. And so things are a little spread out here. Fortunately, our challenger to Baker had a bit of a messy start there, Legoshi. We've seen Baker be incredibly steady once he gets up front in the past.
And it looks like they're giving him the opportunity. The Archie is the only one to even challenge him slightly.
Yeah, Archie he hasn't quite been up there fighting for wins either the first 2 weeks, but he's really been the best of the rest.
Nelson dives hard into the final turn and is now trying to get past Barba. Looks like he's going to make it in time for turn one. Oh, it gets a little squirrely, but recovers it.
It looks like he took some heavy head-on damage there. I don't see any damage, but the way he went into that wall, there has to be something wrong with that car.
That can't have been fun.
No.
That's all I got to say. He didn't even pick up the position out of that.
So Silvestri, still up in fourth where he qualified.
So Silvestri's been one of those that has historically had somewhat issue when having to push hard. Let's hope he's worked some of those out. I've seen a lot of people practicing this week.
Oh, John Archie is keeping close, and he is in the draft. Let's see what kind of a boost he can get being in the slipstream and going down the straight.
We're looking at two cars that are very evenly balanced as far as straight line speed goes, so Archie should have a slight edge being in the draft. And yeah, cuts out 4/10, just like that.
I have to change up his braking zone there a little bit.
I found that in ACC, generally the draft extends about a second, maybe 9/10, a little less. So he's well within pushing distance. Oh, gets really close. Looked like he's gonna give him a tap there, but...
Ooh, and with these guys fighting, Legoshi's reeling them right back in.
No kidding.
You can see him getting up on the curb, getting real aggressive with his line.
And David Nelson is struggling, just as a side note. It looks like he might have some damage, which, as you predicted.
Watch this fight for the lead from third place view with Legoshi.
Looks like Alex Shina goes off in the last turn. David Nelson picks up his position almost. So I mean, there's been some incidents. James Butler going on the inside of David Jones, isn't able to connect.
All right, last time Archie got a pretty good run down the back straight. Let's see what he can do this time.
So no, this has been aside from a couple little skirmishes, this has been a pretty clean race so far. There's a battle developing between David Jones, John Butler, and I believe David Sloot. Yeah, David Sloot. One of our new Davids.
Here's Archie's view going into that right-hander.
David Nelson picks up a spot from Alex Shine. It is an absolute bloodbath between Jones, Butler, and Sloot right now. They are in just a wonderful cluster. I can't see this ending well. They were 3 wide through that last straight there. So we're kind of splitting up into trios here. We got the aforementioned Sloot, Jones, Butler, but also Baker, Archie, Legoshi, it seems, as well as Albertson, Shine, and Nelson in the back.
Still pretty steady up front. Legoshi is now firmly on the tail of Archie.
So Jones went wide and now has held up Sloot sufficiently that Barba is caught up and James is also, but Butler is kind of out of the running. So this could be a really hairy fight when they come to the straight. Looks like Alex Shine has got back past David Nelson. Not sure the damage status of Shine's or Albertson's car, but it can't be great knowing that Nelson has some probably quite severe damage as well.
Yeah, perhaps that hit looked worse than it was, because it doesn't seem to. Well, he's not showing any damage as we can see, and doesn't seem to be slowing him down. Ooh, looks like it's real close up front again.
Yeah, the two battles. Barba's having a look on the inside of Sloot.
Ooh.
Oh, Sloot dives under Jones and spins. Looks like he might take Barba with him. Nope, just kidding. Just Sloot. David Sloot spins in the last corner and is now back with Nelson and Archie. Or no, Archie, Shine.
Guys are so even up front.
We're having a lot of really even fights here. It's kind of surprising. I mean, not necessarily that we're having fights,
getting
but
as close as he can, an inch away. Oh, but Baker nails it out of this final turn. Going on to the front back straight. Yeah, just gapping him down there, wow.
taking him to Gapplebee's. The battles have somewhat dissolved aside from the top three. We do have David Jones versus Dudu Barba. And the fight for the back of the pack as well. Between Nelson, Shine.
Yeah, Sylvester's not quite able to hang with these leaders today. 4 seconds back.
Oh, 710 is spun right after the straight. That is Larry Foster.
We've seen Legoshi have so much speed, but get a little over-eager with pass attempts the last few weeks. Looks like he's being nice and patient today. Just sitting behind these two.
Ooh, Larry Foster struggles to regain pace after that spin. Ooh, looks like we caught the very end of a little slide from Jones on the stream. That was potentially interesting. As you all may or may not know, this is a Germany versus Italy car roster. So we have Lamborghini, Ferrari versus Mercedes, Audi, and I think that's it. Oh no, Larry Foster spins again, further compounding his misfortune in the last lap. So Brandon Baker's been putting some pretty good laps down, but he's not able to escape Archie, and Legoshi is catching up even as well. So this may get hairy real quick if Baker doesn't do something quick.
Ooh, Legoshi. Kinda looked up the inside but had to bail and might lose some time here. I wonder where these guys are going to get the pass. Obviously, the main place would be to get a run out of that kind of turn at the end of Sector 1, get the big run down the back straight, and then sweep by on the right-hander. But with Baker getting such a good launch down that straight, gonna be hard.
Well, passing at not Zandvoort. This is Paul Ricard, but
Legoshi fell. Whoa, Legoshi fell quite a ways back.
Yeah, I wonder what happened there.
Let's see if we can find out.
Oh.
This is a 30-second replay. This should be him right. Yep, this is him right behind the leaders. Does he just get too much curb? Yeah. But he had a lot of pace, and the way those guys were fighting, he drove right up to them that first time. We'll see if he can catch back up.
Well, they were fighting, but I guess they're still fighting now, so we shall see. Meanwhile, it looks like Shine has spun in the last corner. Recovered it well, but... So we're seeing some battles recongeal. We have Legoshi now in the fight with Stephenson, and both of them are rapidly catching Silvestri, with Butler not too far behind. Although definitely the closest battle right now is still between the leader and P2.
Oh man, look at Archie here. Moving around. Oh, and Archie goes around.
Yeah.
Little too much movement going into that turn, I think.
Yeah, well, he looked like he might have gotten unsteady under braking and then just tapped that inside barrier. Or not barrier, but the curbs.
Let's get a replay from his view. See exactly what happened.
Oh, he rejoins right behind Stephenson. Stephenson has to dodge him. Turned off his lights.
Here we see he... Oh, yeah, just like a weird entry. Got on the brakes at the wrong time.
So another battles between Silvestri, Archie, and Stephenson. Archie rejoins right between the two as Alex Shine spins yet again. Or I shouldn't say yet again, but spins. Meanwhile, that's separated the fights such that Jones and Barba are now doing battle yet again. So it'll be interesting to see how Archie tries to navigate this group in front of him.
Interesting. Even with that spin. So Silvestri up to P2 and Stephenson up on podium. Now you have the fight of two pretty frustrated guys back together, trying to make their way through the field.
Meanwhile, Stephenson is perhaps just holding on for dear life, mayhaps.
Well, this is certainly where, you know, I know Archie and Legoshi are both so frustrated, but you'd think they kind of have to work together here, just pass. They should be able to blow by Silvestri and Stephenson based on the pace we saw out of them. But not if they keep fighting each other like this.
Yeah, well, it's only a matter of time, I suppose. Silvestri has been competent. I mean, he's in second, but there's that ballast is killing him, and he's not exactly been super on pace so far.
Archie's probably in his head yelling at Legoshi. I know I would be. Just get off my back.
Yeah, Archie and Legoshi are sitting 156 flats.
Legoshi, that's Archie with a pretty bold move, trying to force it at the inside, but now he's stuck on the outside, and Legoshi might capitalize. Alright, but now it's back to the inside.
I don't,
unless he can clear it here, which he can.
Nah, that'd be a pretty aggressive dive. I mean, it's not impossible, but
we saw Legoshi lose out on that, you know, turn 2 of the first lap with the way these turns just swoop back and forth. If you commit to the inside of a turn, you better be able to cross over and get clear. Otherwise, you're right back on the outside.
Meanwhile, a little look back. David Nelson has been steadily crawling his way up the field. Now is in the 10th place out doing battle with Sloot. Oh, and China. Oops, wait. No. Oh, yeah, no, China is spun. Meanwhile, Larry Foster and David Albertson very close on the front straight. Larry Foster just made a nice move on Albertson. Little quick dive. I do like that livery. I don't think I've seen that one before.
David Sloot rocking the 555 car.
Man,
A
Higgs would be
clear
proud.
reference to Domino's 555 campaign.
Wow, that is a throwback and a half. Man, I was gonna make a $5 footlong joke, but that's probably more of a throwback than what I was gonna say.
Sloot kind of made a move like he was gonna look, but in doing so, he just got himself out of line, kind of had to wrestle back control, and lost a bit of speed. Not the, I don't know what the thing was there, what he was trying.
Well, I think he was maybe just trying to get past, but it's generally not a good idea to do that when you're in the position that Sloot was in.
I mean, all you got to do is just calmly pull out. He kind of did a jerking motion out to the side, which upset the car. Not the best thing going full speed down the back straight.
Well, we're here to learn. This is Sloot's first time in the academy, and so he's doing very well for his first time, but obviously everyone still has stuff to learn.
So, Legoshi has gotten by Stevenson, but he was held up long enough now. He's got a bit of a second gap up to Archie.
Meanwhile, Silvestri just is not been setting quite as much pace as I guess he would have hoped. Best lap 157.090. Meanwhile, Archie and Legoshi have both set near 156 flats. So they're clawing their way up for sure.
Well, yeah, I feel if say you're Legoshi here, 1 point away from Baker in the standings, I'm saying, okay, the win is probably gone. He is just gone at this point. Second place is definitely still in contention though, and just got to get up there and minimize the points you lose today.
Well, yeah, and the race isn't even half over, so there's still plenty of opportunities for Baker to, maybe catch up to. I mean, for example, he's making good progress on Shine, so it's not impossible that we can see the Deus Ex come into effect here.
If there's any track that's pretty easy to get out of the way on, it's this one.
Well, we've said that about tracks in the past. Well, Silvestri continues to struggle with maintaining pace. My estimate is that either in this lap or the next one, there's gonna be a fight between Archie Legoshi and Silvestri. The trick is who's gonna catch first, and will it be quick?
Well, Legoshi's there.
Well, I mean, no, but like, will it be? What I meant to say was, will Legoshi pass him quick enough to minimize the slowing effect that getting caught in a battle like that has?
We'll see. Archie caught Silvestri by about a second that lap, and Legoshi caught Archie by 7/10.
Well, he's got a clear pace advantage, but especially on a track like this, as Jeremy Clarkson's mother said, catching up is one thing, getting past is quite another. If anyone got that Top Gear reference, I'll go ahead and give you a high five now. Meanwhile, there's a furball emerging between Nelson, who has fallen back to 11th, Sloot, and the group is rapidly catching James and Barba, that group. So we could have a pretty sizable furball start to emerge.
Barba gonna have a look here. Ooh, he is having a look.
On the back straight, that's going to be interesting. The unstable Audi could be... Ooh,
forced his way through. He had just enough of an overlap there. He was able to get that done. Oh boy, and that is James went way wide back there.
Yeah, Jones has forced the issue and made it happen. Meanwhile, Legoshi and Archie is caught up to Archie long before Archie was able to either one was able to catch up to Silvestri. Wait, wasn't Legoshi in front of Archie?
No.
Oh, okay. They almost had a bit of minor contact in the last turn. So as I kind of theorize, it seems like Legoshi is catching Archie faster than Archie is catching Silvestri. So this could be hairy. We'll just say that. As we are just a lap past halfway point in the race. Taking stock of the battles occurring, Larry Foster and Alex Shine have continued struggles. Jones, James, and Sloot likewise. Legoshi and Archie are trying their best to make their way past Silvestri. And we'll have to see where that goes. Looks like Archie's got a good pull out of the back
Oh, he's
straight.
trying the outside because Silvestri blocked off the inside. Good move there. But he's gonna get around him.
Very nice. Will Legoshi tow it through? No, maybe. Silvestri has the inside.
Not quite.
No, not at all. Yeah. Oh, looks like Silvestri got a bad launch out of that turn though, and able to make it happen without much issue. So never mind. I thought there was gonna be some stalling from Silvestri there, but looks like it all went without a hitch. Boo. So now the pair of Legoshi and Archie are free to try and track down Baker. They have 9 seconds and 16 laps. I mean, Legoshi did just set best lap, 130 or 155. 7.6, I believe it was. 7.3 actually. So meanwhile, Archie or Baker is consistently setting 157.5. So they've got time on them. The question is, how long will that time last before they either A, run out of tires, or B, push a little too over aggressively? Looks like Stevenson in the background is also having a run at Silvestri.
Well, as we watch them fight, let's talk about John Archie, because he filled out one of our little driver surveys just recently. Gave us a chance to get to know him a bit more. As always, we asked him a few questions, and he gave us some answers. Where is John Archie from? That's not John Archie. That is Legoshi we're watching. The car in front of is John Archie. He is the #1 black Audi. But where is he from? He's from Vancouver, Canada. Ah yes, another one of those Vancouver Canadians. We have many of here. I wonder if they've all met. How long have you been in sim racing? Says he's been in ACC about the last 6 to 8 months, a little on and off, and before that he was mainly involved in Gran Turismo Sport. Ever heard of that game, Cole?
Shout out. I love Gran Turismo Sport.
So what got him into sim racing? Says he's always been into motorsports, cars and bikes. Started with Hot Wheels, yeah. And got much more expensive from there, yes.
Yes.
Well, I don't know, Hot Wheels are actually pretty expensive. Also,
if you have
enjoy
enough Hot Wheels, they
watching
can get
real
expensive.
GT racing from Super GT to Blancpain series. I mean, yeah, Hot Wheels are what? This can go a few bucks. I can go to, local, even when SRO GT came to town, it was like $30. So that's only a few Hot Wheels. Not that much more expensive.
And I still maintain a collection of Hot Wheels even to this day. if I find one in the store and I see them like, ooh, I'll pick it up.
All right. What's been your favorite car to drive so far? Anything GT3. I'm a Honda guy, so I own a supercharged S2000 and a Honda Fit Sport. Heck yeah.
Nice.
Ooh, I like that. I need to see a picture of the supercharged S2000 at some point. What are your goals for the Academy this season? He says getting used to doing long races and finding himself, no, he finds himself losing focus when he's driving by himself. Well, he writes that he writes that as if it's a goal, but I don't think that's his goal. To lose focus. Unless that is your goal, to lose focus. Maybe you're one of those guys who gets so into it that you give yourself a headache that you're like, let's just stop thinking about driving. It's possible.
I mean, it does happen.
Although,
Overthinking is a big problem.
yeah, maybe go back to focusing. And is there anything else he wants? He says his only real life track experience is when I was in Germany. Well, that's more than most of us.
Yeah.
Did some laps on the Nordschleife, again, more than most of us.
What?
And wish they had it in the ACC. Also looking forward to the future of ACC with North American tracks. Yes.
Yes. Dude, shout out. I hope that ACC gets more North American stuff. If they can expand the GT4 series to include all like the Pirelli World Challenge cars, I'll be so happy. Kunos, if you're listening, I will pay whatever price you charge for it. $700, all right. Sorry. Anyway, is there more stuff on Archie? I got a little distracted.
Nope, that is it. That is
Okay.
Mr. Jonathan Archie.
Yeah, a very good competitor. I mean, he's done battle with the likes of Legoshi and Baker even. I mean, it's not worked out so well immediately, but it's he's done well to do battle, and has been a pretty good example of a composed and collected driver.
And he is actually keeping even here. Actually closing a little bit now, down to 7.9, so he's gained about half a second out of Baker.
And Gianmarco Silvestri gets a drive-through penalty. He just had a
Oh,
nasty cut, which we
no.
kind of saw in the background there. That was, well, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't intentional, but that was interesting.
Unfortunate. Ooh, this is Sloot and Jones. Around the outside.
Around the outside.
So Archie continues to reel in Baker by a couple tenths every lap. I imagine a lot of that is Baker just taking it pretty easy, not really, forcing anything.
Well,
Meanwhile, Archie's driving the wheels off that with Legoshi pressuring him, so it makes sense he's getting a little.
Yeah, the last 2 laps, Archie has set consistently faster laps of about 4 or 5 tenths, so almost half a second per lap. So if he's able to keep that up, with Legoshi battling him, he might have to make some risky defensive maneuvers, so that could slow him down, though.
Yeah,
Baker's last
what, about a
1.5
2 or so minute lap, so we've got approximately 6 laps, so yeah, it's gonna have to be a little over a second per lap. If Archie wants to catch Baker. Not that even catching him would get the job done. We've seen guys stuck behind Baker for what seems like an eternity this entire
I'm
season.
sure it felt like an eternity to them, too. So Silvestri's gonna have to start that drive-through in the next couple of laps, and that's gonna put him probably behind up to, I would say, about Nelson, maybe. Meanwhile, we've got the Dave Brigade: Sloot, Jones, James, Nelson. Albertson is separated by only Larry Foster. But I suppose you can say Dave's together strong. Get Larry Foster out of the way, and they'll pummel their way up to the top.
Well, while everyone's spread out, and we're just keeping an eye on Legoshi here, who lost about 2 tenths on that lap, or in that sector alone. Let us check in on the man who answered our questions first. Took him about 2 seconds to respond. Let's check in on Mr. Larry Foster, who is driving that number 710 bright yellow Lamborghini. Maybe it'll help you see his car tonight. In fact, the director just chose to go with him right now, I think.
Well, I switched to it.
Oh, you did. But, okay. So, we asked Larry Foster, there he is. Larry Foster, where are you from? To which he says, the great state of Tennessee. Well, I haven't been there to verify its greatness, but I hear it's pretty cool. And it is certainly Tennessee. How long have you been in sim racing? It says 3 to 4 years. And what got you into sim racing? My appreciation for race cars in general, and my hobby of video games.
Heck yeah.
Yep, that sounds like most of us.
That is the
I
anthem
like
of
cars,
the sim racing enthusiast.
I like video games. Turns out you mix them together, you get good things. What's been his favorite car to drive so far? It says the Lexus and ACC. But he says he likes the Lexus, but his go-to car is the Aston V8 GT3.
I can verify.
Well, try. What are your goals for the Academy this season? My main goal is to help as many people get better as possible at this great hobby and learn more about it. That's for the entire Academy. And my goal is to pick up my pace and be more consistent.
Tip of the hat. That's
that
a
ballast
good
is
goal.
not helping him and his comrades out there. But I guess learning to race with ballast is, something you can try.
It's always worth doing.
And so that is our Tennessean Larry Foster. Always down for a good talk after the races.
Yeah, I like Larry. He's always down for a good conversation and is always generally a positive guy. I mean, yeah, sometimes he gets the short end of the straw. I mean, a lot of us do sometimes, but he's always generally pretty positive about it and always good to talk to.
So, Legoshi sits within 1 second of Archie, still just stalking him.
So as a little bit worse than I predicted, Silvestri served his drive-through and is now down to 11th. So 2 spots behind David Nelson.
Well, he's 11th, but he's got a whole pack of slower cars in front of him.
A whole bunch of Davids.
Oh, wow. Yep. David.
He's got the Dave Brigade.
David. Maybe David?
No. The only David that isn't in that group is Albertson, who's in 13th.
David, get your butt up there.
David, you're doing your kind not proud. No, I'm just kidding.
James Butler, haven't talked about him much today, but he is, I want to say, the top of the Ballast boys today. In 5th.
Generally a stalwart competitor in ESR and specifically ACC. I mean, he's
still holding on to 4th place.
Since I met him, I've stopped messing up his name. I'm not sure if he's happy or sad about that.
Who?
Butler, James Butler. I'd always confuse James Butler and John Barker. I call him John Barker or John Butler and James Baker.
Jim Boodler, I think is his name?
Yeah, Jim Boodler. Yep. So, there's some David on David violence going on here. Sloot and Nelson, the 2 Italy boys.
Testing 1 2 1 2.
Hey, Matt Higgs is back.
Matt Higgs. We were just talking about Jan Bartowski and how we get his name wrong all the time.
Jan Bartowski.
Jan Bartowski.
Watching Dave. Also, we have David running order right now.
Hell yeah.
Oh, and the Davids will ascend up the order 1 spot as Barba gets a drive-through penalty for cut tracks.
Tracks.
You know what that DT stands for? Actually stands for David Trunkification.
I was gonna say David through. Let
Yes.
David through.
David is faster than you.
Yeah, we gotta get the Dave Brigade going again. We gotta get all the Davids. Sloot and Nelson are having a nice little Dave off.
But while you were gone, Mr. Higgs, Baker has sailed away because first Legoshi made a little mistake getting up on curb. That dropped him back to 5th place, and then Archie kind of going for a pass on that right-hander at the end of the main straight. Got a little unsettled, spun off behind Baker, so he dropped back. Legoshi and Archie have both fought their ways back up to 2nd and 3rd, and they are gaining a bit on Baker, who I assume is taking it fairly easy out front. But
I assume he's not pushing.
Nah, yeah, he's just being nice and smooth out there.
Well,
Up
sir.
at about 8.8 seconds, down to 6.1 seconds, so they're getting there. But
It's easy to get track limits at turn 2 there.
yeah.
Yeah. So, oh no, Gianmarco
Silvestri.
Silvestri drive-through penalty.
Oh,
Dave
bad
this is
through.
day
the
for
closest
Silvestri as
Lagoshi's
well.
been.
Dave through. So Silvestri is told to let David Albertson through. That's not good. Well, it's good for the Davids, but
Your boy Stevenson, by the way, is hanging on 4th place.
Hell yeah, Chris.
Silvestri, yeah, he was up in 4th. In fact, I think he was up in like 3rd for a little while. No, he was up
Oh,
in
wow.
2nd. But yep, then he got a drive through and another one.
Wait, who?
So Sloot and
Silvestri got a
Nelson.
drive through, right?
Silvestri, yeah.
Yeah, he's got another one.
Davids, what are you doing, you fools?
It's D Barba followed by D Jones, D James, D Sloot, and D Nelson.
Yeah, the only one that's not a David there is Barba.
He's
And
David
that's
today.
unconfirmed.
With Silvestri getting a David through, looks like Albertson is going to move one closer to reuniting the David brigade. No, I won't stop saying that.
Sloot and Nelson.
Yeah, they were side by side the entire back straight. It got really
Oh,
hairy.
and
Whoa,
in the cut.
Silvestri, who is looking, despite the fact that he should be serving a drive-through soon.
Look at that, they're still side
Matt,
by side.
you are our ACC man. Will you get Will you get like disqualified if you don't serve a drive-through by the end?
Yes, you will be black flagged if you don't serve a drive-through within 3
Okay, so
laps.
it doesn't
Whoa!
tack it on or anything.
Silvestri, that was bold.
Still, there might be some talking needs to be done after the race about that. When you've got a drive-through, you have to serve. I don't know what you're doing, forcing that.
Silvestri is pushing the issue, and I guess it's his right, but dang, you know, it's kind of not his battle.
No.
I'd say he's just trying to minimize the damage the drive-through will do at any cost.
I think he's trying to minimize the David
I mean,
collusion.
if you're trying to minimize it, the best thing would be to dive in right now and then get out in clean air. No.
Justin says
yourself
he
up
thinks
here.
Baker is saving fuel. He's using a second a lap.
Yeah, could be saving fuel.
Well, he's only got 1 lap left, so
Or 2, depending on
Might
what
have a
time you
second,
cross the
yeah.
line.
no, not 2. He's gonna cross the line in the next 15 seconds or so. So
Oh yeah, he
The
definitely will have one more lap.
yeah.
Unless he runs out of fuel, then he'll have no more laps.
and you're not wrong. But he's got 4.5 seconds to give and only 1 lap, so he could basically coast this thing and be totally fine.
And these boys are fighting hard.
Big gaps from Stevenson to Lagosci and Jones to Butler.
Silvestri's still yet to serve his drive-through. He's gonna have to do it this lap,
Or else he'll get a 130-second penalty, I think.
which is basically a death sentence. I can see Nelson behind just like throwing his hands up like, what are you doing, man?
I want that 9th place. Wait, didn't Nelson start 9th?
Alright, Lagoshi's gonna have one last chance down the back straight. Let's see if he can get a run.
Nelson actually started 11th.
Oh. Well done, Nelson, then.
Whoa!
Could have worse. Oh, he's close. He's getting the
Silvestri
draft.
fails to pit.
Yeah, Lagoshi, he's we'll see.
Looks like Butler got by Stevenson.
Damn it.
I saw
Let's
some
see if he can hit the afterburners here.
He's definitely close.
Yeah. We saw James or Jones force a pass on Barba here, kind of just going up the inside and really forcing his way through.
That was a good move. It was risky because those Audis can be really unkempt through that corner, but
Alright, well, Lagoshi has been fast through this final sector.
I'm standing. It looks like David Sloot got a drive-through penalty, and Silvestri can add a stop and go of 30 seconds onto
What's the
his
spread in
drive-through.
pit lane?
Oh boy.
So Silvestri, what are you doing, man?
Gonna have about 2 turns to go. Meanwhile up front, Baker is getting close to crossing the line. Only giving up a lot of time.
He's coming
but I
through the
think he's
last
got
corner.
I think he's good. He hasn't lost any time.
Okay, look like he's gonna look at the inside, but then he kind of did some weird stuff, and so it looks like John Archie is gonna hold on to second under intense pressure from Lagoshi.
Meanwhile, I'm standing here just continually mouth agape. Silvestri's making some really hard moves on
Oh, we've
Nelson
got
when he's really not fighting.
Dave James making a lot of mistakes in this final sector.
Silvestri's fate is
Salute
sealed.
is
He's
all over the back of James here.
well, this isn't his fight. And oh no, Nelson goes around. I couldn't see if that was Silvestri doing it, but
Oh
I
no!
was watching that.
I'd be pissed if it was
We're gonna get a replay of that
Silvestri
incident.
there.
it might have been Silvestri. He'd been making a bunch of really
I
aggressive
mean,
moves.
you should be
Yeah,
pissed
it's
if you're
probably
Nelson, not
Silvestri then.
Silvestri.
What?
No, I meant I'd be pissed if it was Silvestri that caused it.
Okay.
No, it doesn't look like he got close enough. Although maybe.
Well, we're watching this.
Oh no,
He
it
definitely
was.
did. Yeah.
What the heck?
He hit the back.
That was a weird collision.
It looked pretty clear cut to me.
No, I just meant it didn't really affect Silvestri's car much. Like, it didn't even show like it hit him.
So actually, not a black flag. It's only 60-second penalty.
You gotta stop and go 30 seconds because he didn't serve it, so he gets a minute penalty.
Well, yeah, but he didn't serve his drive-through either. So that
No,
was
he
gonna
served
be...
it.
Oh, did he? Oh, I didn't see it.
And he must have sped in the pit lane.
Okay. Meanwhile,
Interesting.
David
I would
Salute.
think it wouldn't serve if you sped through it, but
Meanwhile, David Salute getting 30 seconds added onto time.
perhaps he found a way to gain the system there. But
Maybe.
Mr.
Well,
Brandon Baker, dominant win out front. Had some pressure early, withstood it. There he is, flashing his lights in glee. I'm sure he's jumping up and down inside that car.
I'm sure he's very chuffed.
Jumping up and down.
Second
Chuffed.
place, Jean Archie.
All
Third
right, mate.
place, Eno Legoshi, who is not 11th as shown there, but in fact third. James Butler comes home in 4th place. Chris Stevenson 5th place, and then the David,
No, it's David,
Larry,
David.
Jean-Marco, and Alex.
I'm trying to. There we go.
So that is our final order. I'm sure there will be words said and a bit of talking after the race.
Man, let's look at the ballast today.
I wonder if Silvestri just let his anger get to him, because I don't know what you're doing, man.
Frustration, I think.
Yeah, but that's a big part of racing. You can't let that get to you.
That's what we're here for, to learn.
That's true. So unfortunately,
Going into that final sector with, Silvestri all over his tail making aggressive moves, I was kind of thinking to myself, if you're Nelson there, you just pull out of the way. That's actually even kind of a bit more of a insult, just to get out of the way and say, hey man, I'm finishing ahead of you because you got a penalty coming. Fine, go through if you're gonna do like this.
That's true. I wonder if Nate Nelson just didn't know that he had a big penalty coming.
Oh, I'm sure he didn't know. It'd be pretty hard to keep track of that. I don't even know if it shows that.
It does.
Well, if you have the right
when you're
display up,
racing.
it does. But we don't know what he was looking at, so. I mean, luckily it didn't affect Nelson's finishing position, really. Unfortunately, the Dave Brigade could not be reunited. Albertson is still separated from the group by Foster.
Foster.
Well, we can only assume that if that had happened, they would have rocketed up to first place and demolished Brandon Baker, so maybe it's better.
Happened. I can confirm it's happened before. The Dave train.
The Dave train.
Choo-choo. All aboard.
Called up you. Very nice.
Indeed. All right. Well,
Any speculation on what's going to happen with the standings?
Baker should be in the lead now. Legoshi just a couple points behind him, and Parker is probably going to drop back a pretty hefty distance, not being here.
Yeah.
And I suppose John Archie, he'll move up into third, gain a couple points on Legoshi.
Very nice.
And what do we have next? Deep-diddy-doop. We have a track somewhere. It looks like it is the Nürburgring.
Ooh.
Hooray.
Is that the finale?
No.
No.
Then you have Zolder, then you have Break, and then continued schedule to be announced.
I can only assume that with Justin's ever increasing desire to mix things up, that it'll be raining fire and brimstone at the Nürburgring when we go there.
Yeah, it's usual for that time of year.
Oh, I can't wait. Well, boys, I'm gonna hop off because this time that got pushed up an hour, and then with daylight savings just got pushed up another hour. means we're starting at like 11, which is I didn't even get breakfast, and now I want lunch, and I'm freaking hungry. So
All
yeah,
right. I'll see
time to
you
go get some
later.
food.
All right.
But we will be back here for round 4 next week, the 21st, same time, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. That is when qualifying starts, so we'll be on about 10 minutes after that with 5 to go in qualifying. Live on ESR's Twitch. Stop by, say hello. Don't be a stranger. We will see you then.
ESR-race.org. Also, we're gonna have the next round of the ESR ACC GT Challenge Series coming up in not mucho time.
Yeah.
So,
is that Paul Ricard too?
no, it's
It's
Kyalami.
Kyalami.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
God.
in about in about 15 minutes actually.
All right. Dive, dive, dive. Aruga, as
Auga,
Cole would say.
auga.
God damn it, Cole.
Let's go.